everyone, this is Dr. Pangelinan. Today I'm just going to review the syllabus and the Canvas course page. So this summer session is going to be the full summer session of 12 weeks from May 18th to August 5th. The title of this course is Motor Development Across a Lifespan Lab. It's KINE2251. For those of you that are also in KINE2250 or have previously taken KINE2250, these two courses can be taken asynchronously, not at the same time, and there are no prerequisites or co-requisites for this class. Here is my email address, which is also posted on the Canvas course page, and my office hours are Mondays and Fridays from 1 to 2 or by appointment. Please make sure you email me before joining office hours, so that way I know that you're interested in actually coming to office hours, and I can schedule that time as being booked. There is no textbook. All the course materials are posted under Canvas. The purpose of this course is to apply the broad concepts of motor development across a lifespan to teaching motor skills to children with developmental disabilities. And we're going to do so by working our way through the Special Olympics Young Athletes program, which is developed for children between the ages of 2 to 8 to teach fundamental motor skills. By the end of this course, students will gain knowledge of the different developmental disabilities, including the characteristics, spectrum of abilities, and behavioral supports. You'll critically evaluate the available resources to improve motor skills in children with developmental disabilities, and as I mentioned, you'll be critically evaluating the supports provided by the Special Olympics Young Athletes program. You'll also gain skills in evaluating the performance of children with developmental disabilities for a bunch of different skills. So there's a bunch of different videos that are provided by the Special Olympics Young Athletes program. So you'll actually see children with different developmental disabilities performing each of the skills that we'll discuss. Then you're going to develop activities to improve a specific set of skills for children with a range of ages, skill levels, and behavioral needs. And this is going to be part of a group project. And as part of your group project, you're going to develop skills working with other students to plan and develop activities. As far as the course content requirements and evaluation, your course evaluations will be based on quizzes, which are done almost every week on Wednesdays. The explicit due dates are already provided on Canvas and were provided in the course calendar below. Group activities, you'll have one major group assignment that can be done at your own time. You've already been assigned to one of the different groups, and each group is then assigned to one of the modules in the Special Olympics Young Athletes program. So for groups 1 through 4, you'll work on the walking and running module. For groups 5 through 8, balance and jumping module. Groups 9 through 12, trapping and catching module. 13 to 16, throwing module. 17 to 20, striking module. 21 through 24, kicking module, and for any of the groups 25 and over, you're going to work on the advanced sports skills module. You'll identify one of the activities or tasks within that module that you'd like to modify for use at home. So this is so that the parent could run the different activity and continue developing that specific type of skill with the children that they're working with. I provided examples and rubrics on Canvas already, so you can start looking at that. And you can identify your group members. I'll send an email out later in the week so that you guys know how to get in touch with each other. But you can also go on Canvas under the Groups tab and see your group project groups. So this group activity will be broken into a couple subcomponents. The first one is that you're going to submit your visual support for your activity for peer review. So you're going to submit that on Canvas. It'll be one visual support per group. In that visual support, you'll describe the goal, materials, the setup, provide instructions, and task and equipment modifications to help improve skills for those that have poor skills, meaning how do you make the activity easier, and for those with more advanced skills, like how do you make the activity more challenging. Once you get your peer evaluation of that task, you make a modification and then you get it ready for my review. And then I'll review that and it's worth 30% of your grade. So you really want to submit the best, highest quality visual support at that point. You'll also have a group member evaluation. The purpose of this is to evaluate the contribution of you and your group members to the development of the visual support. And it's important to note that if there are significant discrepancies in the contribution of the different group members, I will adjust your final grade to reflect your individual contribution to the visual support. So it's not guaranteed that, one person doing all the work is going to get equal grades. I'll make sure that everyone has an opportunity to contribute and that everyone does so. Again, you'll provide a peer review of another group's visual support. So you'll have a week to provide detailed summary of the other group's activity based on the rubric. And there's an example of an evaluation that was done and the kind of quality of feedback that I want to see on this. And then at the beginning and the end of the term, you'll complete a short survey through Qualtrics asking you about your perceptions of individuals with developmental disabilities. Unlike other courses, this course is graded as satisfactory or unsatisfactory. In order to get a satisfactory, you have to have 70% or better on all course assignments, and an unsatisfactory is less than 70% on all course assignments. Please note that even if you have straight A's on all of the individual quizzes, if you end up contributing very little to the group activity, that's 45% of your grade, it's very possible that you could get an unsatisfactory grade if you don't contribute equally to the group project. Here's the tentative course schedule. So this outlines all 12 weeks of the course. You'll notice that pretty much every week you have a quiz that's due on Wednesdays at 11:59 p.m. The exception to that is this Friday, you'll have to complete your first Qualtrics survey, the quiz on perceptions of individuals with developmental disabilities, and a quiz on the syllabus that outlines the important pieces of the syllabus, including course structure, course evaluations, and course content. And then by Wednesday, you'll have to complete a quiz on intellectual disabilities and Down syndrome. And again, all the material is already posted, but you need to complete the syllabus quiz before getting access to any of the remaining modules. The second week, we'll talk about autism spectrum disorder, and then we'll also talk about cerebral palsy, and then you'll have a quiz on those two different disorders that is due by Wednesday, June 1st. Then we'll dive into the Special Olympics Young Athletes program. This is quite a longer lecture. Most of the lectures that I have are about 10 minutes long, but this one's broken into multiple segments. You'll have a quiz on the overview of this Special Olympics Young Athletes program based on my lectures and based on the manual for the Special Olympics Young Athletes program. And then all the rest of the modules, the Special Olympics Young Athletes program, will have a lecture that includes my review of the different videos of each of the kids performing the skills, as well as a description of each of the different tasks for that specific module. And then you'll have quizzes each week that reflect each of those different modules. Again, most of the weekly quizzes are due on Wednesday of that week. At the same time as you're watching the Special Olympics Young Athletes program videos and working through that material, you'll also have to meet with your group to make progress towards your task card. So I've broken down week by week when you need to start working on different aspects of the group assignment. So ideally by June 21st, if not sooner, you've met with your group to identify which activity you'd like to modify within your assigned module. You can start talking about games or activities that can help to practice this skill and activity at home. So how would you modify the task, continue engaging or practicing the skill? Identifying the equipment that's needed, writing out the instruction for your activity, and testing out your activity. It's important to note that you would submit your activity for peer review by July 13th. So some of these last minute things in terms of writing out the instructions and testing out your activity, these are kind of the last dates for which you should be doing this. You can complete this assignment in less than a week. It really does not take that much time. You just need to make sure that you and your group members are carving out time to really work through it. And you should plan on scheduling a meeting with me at least once during this almost over a month period of time so that I can help you to help fine-tune your activity and make sure that you're on the right track. Again, the major deadlines for the group project is to submit your activity for peer review. Then you're going to do a peer review of another group's activity. Then on July 29th, you're going to submit your final activity for my review, and you're going to submit your peer evaluation of that activity. And then lastly, during the week of finals, you'll submit a quiz on the perceptions of individuals with developmental disabilities after completing the course. As far as class policy statements are concerned, 2251 is a lab class, and based on your participation in your group activity and completion of assignments, late assignments will not be accepted without contacting me before the assignment due date with a university-approved documentation. So that includes documentation of an illness, obituary, death certificate of a family member, participation in student-sponsored organization or intercollegiate athletic travel, religious observances, subpoenas, or court appearances. Again, email me before the assignment is due, and we can set up a time that you can make up the assignment. If you do not contact me ahead of time, I really can't help you. As far as academic honesty and plagiarism is concerned, this class adheres to the University Academic Honesty Code, and you'll be expected to follow these policies as it relates to unacceptable behaviors for academic dishonesty and plagiarism. The biggest thing is that your quizzes should be completed independently, and you usually have 2 opportunities to complete the quiz to get your highest points, so there's no real reason for any type of plagiarism or cheating on those quizzes. If you have an accommodation that needs to be submitted electronically so that I can document that we have met or that I've addressed your accommodations during the first week of class, so ideally before Wednesday, I can go ahead and make adjustments on the Canvas page as needed. As far as course communications are concerned, I typically communicate with students through the course announcements. I try not to email students individually unless you have individual questions that you have about the material or individual needs that need to get addressed. So you can email me at the email that's listed at the beginning of the syllabus. Just keep in mind that I'm teaching multiple courses this summer and, I have kids in a personal life, so I'm not expected to respond to your emails within 24 hours. Do not email me multiple times within 24 hours. This really reduces my efficiency and will not lead to a faster response, but I am typically pretty quick with responding to emails. The one exception to that is that if you email me outside of normal business hours, meaning Monday through Friday, from 8 to 5 when my older child is in daycare, it will be very hard for me to respond to you. So given that most course assignments are due at 11:59 p.m., you should not expect me to respond to you before the assignment is due. I can't just drop my kids and help you with a technical issue or if something happens. So just please plan on working accordingly. I can try and do my best to respond quickly if you email me within typical working hours. There is an example posted of how to correspond with faculty members, course instructors. Disrespectful emails will not be tolerated. I won't even acknowledge them. Again, everything is on Canvas, so students are expected to check Canvas on a regular basis. All course materials, assignment guidelines, rubrics, lectures, additional resources are all posted to Canvas. And again, all of my communications to the full class are done through the Canvas course announcements. All lectures are posted under Canvas under modules, and all assignments are posted both under the assignments tab and then within the modules as well. In the event that I experience an illness or COVID-related issue, the alternative instructor is Dr. Emily Munn. In the event that you experience a COVID or other significant illness that prevents you from doing work by the due dates or contributing equally to the group activities, you need to notify me by email as soon as possible. You need to provide me with medical documentation of your illness. You need to let me know if you're unable to keep up with any coursework or adhere to due dates outlined above in the course schedule. And also, you should really make sure that you email all of your group members to make sure that they're in the loop as well. If remaining in the class and fulfilling necessary requirements becomes impossible due to illness or other COVID-related issues, just let me know and we can discuss your options. Again, as far as professionalism is concerned, as faculty, staff, and students, we are interacting in a professional setting. There are expectations in terms of professional behavior that are specifically outlined in the College of Education's conceptual framework. These professional commitments or dispositions are listed here below. First and foremost, you need to engage in responsible and ethical professional practices that includes not collaborating on quizzes or using outside resources for quizzes. Contributing collaboratively to learning communities, that includes contributing equally to the group projects. Commitment to diversity, again, as a class that talks about people with diverse backgrounds, it's important for you to remain open-minded to differences in experience, abilities, and backgrounds. My goal is to help to model and nurture your intellectual vitality and provide you with new experiences, particularly experiences and gaining exposure to people with developmental disabilities. When working with people with developmental disabilities, there are different ways that you can speak about them. Different types of disabilities use different kind of language. So for example, the autistic community uses what's called identity first language. The deaf community does the same. So I am a deaf adult or I am deaf. In terms of autism, someone might say that I am autistic or I'm an autistic adult. Other communities use what's called person-first language. So for example, for Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, and intellectual disability, I'm an adult with Down syndrome. I am a child with cerebral palsy. My child has intellectual disabilities. So the idea is the word adult, child, or person comes before the disorder is described. So that covers our syllabus. Please let me know if you have any questions about the syllabus. Let's move on to the Canvas course page. So I am in the student view for the Canvas course page. This is the front page. You can see some basic information, including my email address here, some details about the basic structure. Under announcements, you'll see the course announcements that have already been posted thus far. There are two. One is the week 1 to-do list, and the other one is the proper format to email a professor. Under assignments, you'll see all of the course assignments that are coming up in order of when they're due. So you'll have all of that listed here. When you click on each of the individual assignments, it will show you information about when it's available and information about the assignment, and then you can start the assignment right after that. And that includes all the assignment details. For the task cards, for example, there are additional links. There's a video of me describing the group project and also all of the rubrics. The main set of information is going to be posted under modules. And you'll see that each of the modules are listed here. So week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, and so forth. Right now, you do not have access to week 2 material until you've completed the syllabus quiz. Okay, once you've completed the syllabus quiz, you can go on and you'll have access to all their materials, and it's going to be listed or made available consistent with a course schedule. So you can't really just run through the course and do everything in 1 week. Material is listed by that course schedule so that everyone can work at the same pace. I think you should be good to go. Please let me know if you have any questions about the Canvas course page. Oh, one other thing that's important is, so let's say you want to go to my intellectual disabilities and Down syndrome lecture. You'll see that you'll get this error message that says YouTube refused to connect. In order for you to actually see the video, you have to click on the top link, and that will open YouTube, and my lecture will start correctly. Okay? So just make sure that you are clicking on that top thing. Otherwise, you're going to get this error message, YouTube refused to connect. Okay? So that's just one last thing that you guys need to be aware of. Okay? Let me know if you have any questions. Good luck.